Yeah, it's the E to the M-A-N-O-N, ASA Pro Tour, ESPN, rocking it out, one time, fool your mind, world's greatest skaters, even on the inline.
It's Jeremiah, represent from ASA. Stay tuned to ESPN, don't go away.
Vert skating has become so competitive, and the top half a dozen guys are so good that really, to separate yourself now, you have to come out with a new trick, and it's got to be something big and dangerous. Last season, Ty came out with a double backflip. Takeshi learned 1080s, and those two guys were able to dominate and do very well for themselves with those new tricks. This year, now Ato's come out to answer the call with a double backflip 180. Ty Chris has lost a little bit of ground this season because he's not unveiled his new tricks yet, even though we know that he's sitting on a couple. Even Mark Engelhardt, when he first started riding his wave to notoriety, did it on the strength of a couple of really big and signature tricks, like his flat spin 540 to disaster stall and his 1080.
Rollerblading's trend has always been, for the past 3 years, ever since someone threw the first 900. You watch skateboarding, Tony Hawk threw a 900 years ago, and to this day, people are still struggling with their 720s. It's completely the opposite with rollerblading. As soon as one person lands a trick, you've got 10 other people behind you, not only trying to land your same trick and do that, but trying to step past that.
Sometimes I picture myself doing for me, I think it's biggest cool trick, flat spin 720. Sometimes I see myself doing. They always say, like, if you see yourself doing, you can do it, you know? Every time I go skate, I see myself just turning a little more.
So to keep pace in this high-stakes game of aggressive inline vert skating, you've got to have new tricks.
Hey, this is Fabiola. Let me break down for you. 250 second runs, 100 points, best run counts.
It's a format everybody's gotten real used to, and this guy, the first skater up, has been excelling in competition.
Mark Engelhardt, he's skating so good right now that there's hardly anyone out there besides the Yastokos who can even compete with him.
In 3, 2, 1, on Lansdale, Pennsylvania, ready for K2. Unreal skates.
My first run, started my run off with a couple setup airs. I did a carving air to set myself up to do a 540 over the channel. I got that.
I was so impressed because he's been so consistent and he's doing hard tricks back to back, like 720 to fake 9, you know, on forward 9s. I mean, he's amazing.
Pretty much I had something planned out that didn't really work out because I just wanted to do some airs, and then the 540 over the roll-in, 900, the flat spin inside the roll-in, and then I wanted to go to the 1080. But unfortunately, I fell on it, and usually I've been pretty consistent with it, but unfortunately, I didn't get it that time.
He threw a 900, a 720, switch 540s, threw a flat spin on the roll-in, which I can say personally, I had trouble just airing on the roll-in, and he's throwing a flat spin on the roll-in.
Engelhardt brings the difficult tricks, but lacks consistency, ends out with a 62.75 in the first run.
It's hard, you know, when the first competition of the year is kind of tough because you are not used of your run, your tricks. But I've learned a new trick, you know, the double back with a method and transfer. So I will try to pull it in the run, but it's difficult.
Ty Chris has been the most dominant vert skater in competition because of innovation.
When Ty Chris came over this year, I was pretty excited to see what he'd come up with. Ty's known for taking the off-season and really working hard and coming back with new tricks. He's stopped doing flat spins. He's not doing the 900 anymore. The double backflip, I know he's grabbing it a little different now, but personally for myself, last year he was doing it much higher and much smoother. Still skating amazing, but I don't know, I'd like to see him step it up a little bit and live up to the hype he's creating for himself.
The coolest trick was the invert in that railing thing. It was pretty like just him did, you know? It was pretty impressive and it's just creative.
Ty's a very good skater, and I just don't see him skating at his highest level.
So Ty Chris comes out with an amazing run where he throws in the gato spin, he throws in the huge invert up high, he does the double backflip, fully tweaked, and yet some of the skaters aren't that impressed because they've seen him even at a higher level. He won the X Games, the Gravity Games, the World Championships last year, and the level's been raised so high by him, he lives to another standard. He's also become one of the most imitated skaters on tour.
What we're trying to do is get everyone to give us their best Ty Chris impression.
You know, I've been working on a new trick for years.
So anyway, Ty, tell me, what did you think of Mark Englehart's run?
I think it is really big. He not do the double back flip. I do the big invert and the double back flip.
I know what you did, Ty. I want you to tell me what you thought of Mark Englehart's run.
So Ty Chris has set the stage 85.25, but there are these two pesky Japanese skaters still to roll. We'll be back with run number 1. The ASA Pro Tour on ESPN is brought to you by the Taz Attitour, presented by Warner Brothers, bringing the attitude of Taz and all the Looney Tunes to the world of action sports. Don't forget to visit TazTour.com for all the latest tour information. By Yoo-Hoo Chocolate Drink. Side effects may include happiness and refreshment. And by Kung Pao. Own the DVD or rent it today. Welcome back to the ASA Pro Tour at the San Diego County Fair.
And tell me what we're on right now. What is this?
In Brazil, we call teleférico or chairlift. To me, it's just like a pleasure to be on a ramp and be skating in the same level, you know, and maybe make top 10 at the X Games would be like first place for me, even if I can make top 10, you know.
You couldn't pick a better ambassador for rollerblading than Fabiola da Silva, and she's more than just a mere novelty. The fact that she's a female who competes against the guys, not all there is to Fabiola.
Ramp was really good, but I was having trouble in a flat spin just to land. I was leaning too back instead of forward, so in my first run I missed it.
Well, even with the fall, she gets a 60.25, putting her right in the thick of it.
Yesterday's
I know he wanted to do what most people are doing. You have 2 runs in the final, so he wants to come out with his first run and just kind of lay down and set himself with a decent score, just so that when the second run comes up, he can really let loose. And that's pretty much what he did. He came out and he threw a good combination of tricks with a smooth 540 to a alley-oop 720 straight to the fakie 900. I know he would have liked it to have been a little bit better, but in his first run, that's what he was trying to do. He was just trying to lay down a solid run, and that's pretty much what he did.
So Cesar's consistency pays off. 71.50 puts him in second.
Shane is one of my favorite skaters to watch because I love the way that he can spin and has so many more tricks than everybody else. But in his first run, unfortunately, he went down on his flat spin over the channel. I know he gets very frustrated when he falls, so I feel bad for him sometimes when he does.
In what's become almost routine, Shane Yoss with a 53 has to put all of his effort into his second run. But despite the fall in his first run, this 2000 Rookie of the Year has come quite a way in his career.
I'm in heaven right now. I'm in a limo. I'm cruising to rock star. That looks pretty cool. Big.
I was told I'd be Elvis.
Okay, you got rock star, then I'm like,
Shane Yoss is a rock star.
Shane the rock star. You know, I'm still getting used to this whole rock star thing, you know, it's such a burden.
You like that?
Pull out. Gotta pull out.
Killing it. Heaven. Riding heaven. If there was a half pipe in heaven, this is what it would be like.
So back at the San Diego County Fair on the vert ramp, next up, the guy who's already got 2 wins this season. He's only 16 years old, and he's becoming one of the most dominant guys in the air.
Takeshi tends to be a little more punk, a little bit hardcore. He's starting to loosen up also, but he's taking a whole different side. He's a little bit more aggressive on his skates. When you watch him skate, he really charges into everything he's doing.
I like to watch the Yasutokos. They just move, like, and they go really high, like they don't sketch out. You know, it's fun to watch.
Takeshi, he does his McTwist 900. He has some really good grinds now. He's getting a lot better at that. I think a little better than Ato actually at the grinds, and also it's definitely on the amplitude. Him and Ato both are going incredibly high. They're doing a lot of tricks higher than anyone else.
Takeshi Yasutoko, an amazing run. Getting some congrats from all the guys. Hey, you heard it, Ato saying first, check out the height. Way overhead there with the beautiful air, and then upside down, the 1080 McTwist, his new trick from last season. Only skater so far to break the 90 mark, he sits on top.
How the hell did Ato select this song? Country Road Takes Me Home in Sweet Alabama.
Ato Yasutoko is one of the most dominant skaters right now, probably the most dominant skater right now in all of rollerblading.
Those guys, man, I feel like they're in such a higher level than everybody else. I mean, everything they do is so big and like it's really technical, and you don't see it, like they never fall. In one trick, even practice, never fall. And I skated Vans with them like last week. They're so amazing. I mean, they just try the hardest trick no matter what. They don't need music, they don't need people, they don't need anybody. I wish I had the motivation, you know, like to skate like they skate, like hard.
Ato's first run, it was pretty much a typical run that you see by Ato. Doing his big tricks, he threw out his 1080 real early. He always does that huge. I think he was doing it around 8 feet, which is incredible. He landed everything solid and got a good run out of the way, I think, in his first run. And that's what he was trying to do, and he accomplished it very well.
Yeah, and as a big brother would do, he's got to beat his little brother just by half a point, just to dangle it out there. He left some room for improvement in the second round, but he sits on top right now. Huge 1080 flat spin. He gets completely flat above the coping, pauses it out, and then the Lukang 720 flat spin. Two variations that only Ato can do. So at the end of round number one, Ato Yasutoko and Takeshi sit in the 1-2 spot. Ty Chris, he's bringing the heat, but he still only sits in third. Fabiola and Mark Engelhardt looking to improve. When we come back, Mr. Japan, the man with a plan, is going to show you some of his other skills at the San Diego County Fair.
That is my hobby.
Yeah. All right, you get it for free. This is for being such a good rollerblader.
Free?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, why is it free?
For being such a good rollerblader.
Hey, this is Derma Fair, and this is sausage. This is not sausage. No, but not hungry. Oh, massage. Can you speak Japanese? No. Gingerbread cookies. I have a question. What is gingerbread cookies? I got gingerbread cookies. Double backflip, triple backflip. It's crazy. I had fun very much, and I have to go skates. Let's see.
The French guys just showed up out of nowhere when we came out to San Diego. You always know something's good's gonna happen when the French show up. Seeing their runs, that they get a little bit nervous and they might slip and fall on a couple of tricks, but it's pretty amazing.
They hadn't come to any competitions yet this year, so I didn't know what to expect from him, but I know Anis I've skated with before, and I know he's very good, and he seemed to be pulling off some bigger tricks more consistent.
It just seems like all the French are coming out and they're pushing vert skating and they're doing new tricks, and other than Tig, a lot of them probably don't spend as much time competing.
They skated very well, except for had a little bit of trouble with being inconsistent. I know if they can land all their tricks, they're going to do well. They're gonna be some good competition.
The skating coming out of France right now is just unbelievable.
I really can't say enough about Fabiola. The fact that she is a female in a male-dominated sport is just a testament and a credit to how incredible she is as a skater and as a person.
Fabiola throwing some nice airs, landing clean, throwing a beautiful flat spin, landing perfect on the transition. Big span. It's great.
Cesar is always like that. First run, he would do like a couple hard stuff, but not as hard. And then the second run, he tries to step up because he wants to listen to the results from the first run, you know?
Cesar knew he already had his decent run under his belt, so he came out with the second run with nothing to lose, and he really showed it. He came back out with old Cesar style, just huge airs, cool grabs, throwing that beautiful 1080, one of the best 1080s I've seen him land in over 2 years now. He landed clean and went straight to another trick at the other side.
When he landed the 1080, I was like, oh damn, you know, he's gonna do good.
Cesar's always been one of my favorite skaters, and I love watching him skate, and I know that he's going to do a good run.
Yeah, Cesar did awesome, and he came in 5th place. He was a bit disappointed, but he thought he could do a little better, but you can't please everyone all the time, so 5th place, I'll be stoked in 5th place.
We need a perfect run, big air, crazy trick, crazy grind, good line, and I think people bring new trick. For example, Eito, he have a double back 180, which is a huge trick. I have my double back method. So, you know, we'll see, I think, this kind of trick today.
So it's really cool because I'm so lucky. I have the ramp in my house and I can practice 1,000 times until I have the trick in the pocket.
Yeah, I think I have a triple backflip. It's very, very good. The biggest...
Everything is big, everything is perfect.
All right.
Greece, it's perfect.
All right.
France, it's perfect.
Well, good. Things will just be perfect then. If you can do, you will understand. I cannot explain to you because you do not know. Oh.
The ASA Pro Tour on ESPN has been brought to you by Corn Nuts, corn gone wrong, by Acclaim's Aggressive Inline, now available on the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system rated T for Teen, and by The Adventures of Pluto Nash, brought to you by Warner Brothers Pictures. With over 1.1 million people coming each year, it's the San Diego County Fair with tons to do, including a full carnival, of course the ASA Pro Tour, and Elvis. Lots of Elvis. The Flying Elvi jumping out of planes, concerts all over the place, cultural activities galore. Be sure to come by next year. It's here every June for 3 weeks.
Tig has become a showman. You know, he does magic tricks, he plays the piano, he knows how to entertain people, and he loves to entertain. He does the same thing with his skating. He brings that same attitude. And so, you know, when he does big tricks, he's not necessarily just trying to win contests. Sometimes he's just trying to put on a show for the crowd and for fans of rollerblading. And I think that's what was happening with the big invert, because I don't think that it really is an adequate substitute for, you know, a double backflip or a double backflip 180 to compete with Eito, but it does add excitement to the contest.
So Shane, we know you're bad at giving interviews, but how about your skating? Say in San Diego, your second run.
Second run, man. Well, you know what? I managed to pull off something that I haven't done all year long. You know what that is?
I do not know.
I managed to stay on my feet.
Finally staying on his feet the entire run, Shane Yost bumps up to 4th place with an 87. But up next, Takeshi Yasutoko chasing his older brother. He's only a half point behind.
After Takeshi's first run, he was sitting in 2nd place right behind his brother. I knew he had to pull something off to beat his brother because it would be pretty hard. And he came out and he skated good. He did all his big tricks, threw them all back to back Eito and Takeshi are always number 1 and 2 at every competition, so it's definitely saying something that they know what they're doing and they're very good skaters.
He does like big stuff, big stunts, and he can grind better than anybody else there. I mean, he does switch ups like he does in a street course and a vert ramp. It's like 14 foot tall, you know?
I think the biggest difference in Takeshi's first and second run was his difficulty in his grinds. He did some amazing switch ups on the coping that would make pretty much any street skater jealous. So watching Takeshi step up his grinding ability has been pretty amazing.
So starting the run off with the huge airs, then getting into a more tech side, finishing up with this big finishing trick, the 1080 McTwist. Takeshi Yasutoko looking stoked. He should be. A 92 puts him above his brother. There's the signature Viking flip. An amazing run.
It's pretty amazing to see where skating's going these days, isn't it? Last year we had you and Matt Lindemuth come out with the double backflip like that, and now Eito throwing his double flat spit thing.
It's not really double flat, it's more double back 180.
Double back half twist.
Well, he pulled that trick, but he's got to pull something else as well to bump out his brother.
Trying to put a label on Eito's skating is almost impossible because as far as he's come right now, he's everything. He goes big, so he's got the intensity. He's doing hard tricks, so he's got the difficulty. He's starting to look way better skating with nice grabs and clean spins, and so he's got the style. And I mean, some certain skaters you can label with he's got great style or he does hard tricks. With Eito, he's doing everything right now. He's got the style, the difficulty, and the technique.
Double flat spin was probably the best trick I saw. That's just incredible. It's something I wish I could do. I'm going to try and work on it, but it's going to take me some time to be able to do that.
Okay, how do you touch a run like this? He's got the 1080 flat spin, the double backflip 180, the 720 Lukang, everything in this run. Look at how high he goes. The 1080 flat spin. And then following it up with, oh, just this. Deserved 95 even. Eito Yasutoko on top of his brother. Ty Chris sits in third, and Cesar Mora in fifth. So the two-time X Games gold medalist on the way to another win here on the Pro Tour with the weight of a trick like this. The corn nut sick trick, double backflip 180. He's making it look easy, and he's still the only one trying it. Log on to asaskate.com and vote for your favorite sick trick of the year. Hotel accommodations provided by the Doubletree San Diego Del Mar. You're among friends at the Doubletree San Diego Del Mar. Well, we've seen Takeshi get better and better, but this week's Adventures of Pluto Nash Innovation of the Day goes to him, Takeshi Yasutoko, pushing the limits on vert. Special thanks to the staff at the San Diego County Fair. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to EXPN.com.